Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. So we're all recovering from a holiday weekend. We hope that y'all had a great one as well. We just got back into town this morning. You moved all weekend. She has to be like a little halfway in between place, in between her old apartment or her old house and then the new house. So then what did y'all do over the weekend? Memorial Day, hang with the fam. Did you eat at least one hot dog?
Just edited.
Cut trees, work.
Edited. We went to a wedding and jammed all night till like 3 a.m. and then went to my dad's birthday in Alabama. So we went and hung out down there. But we're about to leave out of town again. And so we're doing Catching Up with Katie a little bit early this week. So not like a whole lot has happened since the last one we filmed. So what we're going to do is basically just answer questions. This is going back to our roots, Q&A time. And what we did was we put a new Q&A on just YouTube. So we allowed y'all just from YouTube to ask questions, and it's a little bit, of a smaller group of people. So we wrote some down, and so we're going to just go through them and talk about them.
We have a couple horsey questions.
Okay.
At first, would you consider,
unprofessional.
Opera. Would you consider taking English discipline lessons for a video, like a jumping lesson or a dressage lesson? And that's from Liz.
So yes, absolutely. I think that would be a fun time, just like how we did with the reining lesson, just like how we did with the roping lesson. I think riding like a legit dressage horse, riding a legit, jumper of some sort, a hunter or a jumper, probably a hunter, because the hunters are a little slower. I don't know if I'm ready to like do the big jumps. And I've already actually had someone lined up to do a jumping lesson. Here's my thing. I have not been in an English saddle. I have not been riding as much. I'm getting back into it. I rode twice this past week. But I think over the summer, if I get back into riding multiple times a week and maybe throw an English saddle on Sophie, maybe get my legs back a little bit, I would be a little more into it. I just don't want to set myself up for failure by not riding an English saddle and then just going to this place and getting on this stellar horse. And then it's like my strength that's an issue, So I would like to prepare myself a little bit better. But I've never been on a dressage horse. I bet that'd be so cool. I bet it'd be weird.
I don't really even know what that is.
So dressage, I think a lot of people refer to it more as like a horse is dancing. Like they have a lot of exaggerated movements. It's very controlled. It's very disciplined. It's very detail oriented. The horses are usually really big in their movement. It's a pattern. So they have a pattern. They call it a test. They have to do lead changes. They have to do, honestly, there's a bunch of stuff that I don't even really know what it's called. I know one thing's a piaffe. I don't know. They have to do an extended trot. They have to do, like, sometimes they have to like lead change. There's lots of things that I don't know about it. Mm-hmm. I'm very not dressage versed.
All I know, the most I've seen of it was this year when Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart
said it was crip walking.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say when I was in school, because I didn't say bad words, and I would always say, "You're about to pee me off, okay?"
My mom says that. You're about to pee me off.
Tell me to pee off. I was like,
brought back memories.
You're going to pee me off right now.
Oh my gosh. Nate still won't say bad words.
I don't.
You're like, that lady is being such a bee.
I don't even do that.
My mom says that.
When I was little, I would say, she's a witch with a bee. That's what I would say. And I think that was because I was around farmers a lot. And so my mama was trying to grasp at straws to get me not to say curse words. And my little pony when I was little was a mare, and she was a witch with a bee.
Your actual
My
horse.
actual pony.
I thought you were talking about the brand, My Little Pony.
Oh, no. She was just a little pony. And she was fine.
Yeah.
And her name was Shamrock. And she was just mean to everyone but me. And so my mama, to get me to not whatever, she was like, she's a witch with a bee. And so I don't know that that's better. I don't know that it is, but that's what I would say.
Anyway, dressage.
I think it'd be freaking awesome. I absolutely would love to do that. And I think a lot of people don't know that I'm actually the most successful in my show career in the English saddle. I always had, because I'm a taller girl, all of my all-arounders were English-based. So they all did like the hunter under saddle and like jumping before they went on to do all-around. So like Houston, Calvin, we could put some pictures up of them, of me, showing them and stuff. They were all really large. I think Houston was 17 hands. Calvin was like 16.2, all super successful as jumpers or hunter under saddle. And then I did the horsemanship and the Western riding and showmanship with them, which are Western events. And so I think I actually have had the most success in the equitation on the flat and whatnot. So that's an English class. Never jumping though. I didn't jump.
That's what we need to do.
So that would be interesting.
We need to do some jumping.
I would like to do that. I'm not going to say love. I think I would like to do that.
Every time we've talked about, I'm like, okay, would you ever do the show stuff? When we were at KUWK, you were like, I'll do that. And it was the hunter under saddle and the ek. I think, no, it was the versatility.
It was that one that we watched, the new one. And then I've always just thought that I would prefer to do like English stuff.
It's the outfit. It's the cuteness of the outfit. I like the Western stuff, but like there is something about the English fit. The tall boots,
a little more
the tailored
like,
jacket.
I don't know. Just a little more polished and
a
little fancy.
A little demure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, just flashback to when I was like a teen and I'd be at the horse shows. I absolutely loved wearing crop tops or skimpy little shirts and my breeches and boots around the showgrounds when I'd go like practice and stuff. I wasn't a hoe, but like
whoever threw that paper, your mom's a hoe.
That was my version of being a hoe. That's what they're called.
I know, but it's just funny that you're like, I
Sounds like you're
walk
saying
around in my
wrong.
breeches and
they
my
were so
boots.
tight. And they were high-waisted. They were so flattering. Not now. But back then they were flattering.
Gonna get you some breeches, Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
I say that, but if you put on some chaps, your booty looks good.
Okay.
Chaps.
But I don't know. I don't like all the
You don't have to be
crystals and the
You don't have to. You can do a fitted button-up and be just as
I also just
competitive.
don't enjoy. I mean, I don't know if this, I assume this translates into writing as well,
Uh-huh.
but I just don't enjoy watching it as much.
That's fair.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
Yeah, I think.
It's not as entertaining to me.
Yeah, I feel like when you watch something that inspires you a little bit, that's when I feel like kind of drives you to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I like writing any class better than I like watching it. So like there's some classes that I like watching the really good people show it. But I'm like, if it's going to be like, not just like the stellar of the stellar, I don't want to go watch it. I just want to show it,
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Hey, I will say, because her getting in the English saddle, she rode Sophie the other day
I did.
How was it?
before you did.
It
Because y'all were both saying she was the one you wanted.
was pretty good.
Well, my first pick was Trudy. I just said I wanted to ride Sophie.
We're getting her back in action. She's different, isn't she? She's huge.
I mean, honestly, though, when I was up there, like, I didn't feel the height that much.
Really? Let's get a little picture of Abigail on Sophie.
I didn't feel the height difference that much.
She's beefy. I feel like if you're on a really tall, skinny horse, it definitely feels taller because it feels more narrow. She's nice and stout.
Mm-hmm. What are y'all looking at over there?
Nothing, just about to crack a cold one.
Okay. MJC
Okay.
asked, what do you mean when you say horses have buttons?
Buttons. So when I'm like, oh, this horse has like lots of buttons, or this horse has different buttons that I'm not used to, I'm referring to the way they're trained and their cues. So for instance, on pretty much all of my horses, their lope button is corresponding with which lead I want them to lope off of. So if I'm wanting to lope off on the left lead, their button is for me to lay my right leg on them, push with my heel, and kiss at the same time. So, and like push them into the lope. And that's their button. And like if I want to do a pivot, I push my foot, we're stopped. I push my foot forward a bit, touch them with my spur and my heel, and bring my hand over and cluck and like maybe shift my weight. That's their spin button. So there's different there's probably 2 or 3 things to each button, I would say. Like there's something with your foot, something with your mouth, and something with your seat. And the way they're all put together, that tells that horse to do that movement.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the plan for your mares when they can no longer carry, produce, or donate to foaling? Will they become babysitters?
So I think that's situational. I would say the majority of the time, they're just going to retire with me because of my current situation with social media and the income it provides. I'm able to make those decisions that don't necessarily like monetarily benefit me. I think a lot of places you can't blame them for not being able to just care for horses that don't provide something. Not everyone can just have a bunch of horses on their feed bill. When I say that, you need to be responsible with that. So you don't need to sell a horse that's 20-something years old. I think that's definitely irresponsible. But, maybe you would sell a mare who's still in her prime, but towards like the end of her prime to a younger breeding program. I've actually bought mares in that way, where I bought a 15, 16-year-old mare who was really, really good that I probably wouldn't have been able to afford if she was younger. And it was a building block for my breeding program. So there's ways of doing that. But me specifically, one of my older mares, she's had babies, she's done. I'm going to retire her. But let's say Willow this year, we're about to preg check her tomorrow. And if she's not pregnant, then she's going to be open. And she's a resit mare. So she's not even one that can donate embryos or carry for her own self. But let's say we're having a hard time getting her bred, and that's just not going to be in the cards for her. She's only 10 years old. She's broke to ride. She's sound. I would 1,000% look into finding her a riding home. Someone that wanted a project horse for barrels. She's already started on the barrel pattern, a trail horse, something of that sort, because she absolutely would just rot in the field. There's no reason for her to not have a job and not be someone's amazing riding horse. And same thing for some of my brood mares. If it was not in the cards for them and they were younger and sound or younger and able to do something else, like be a therapy horse, be a young kid's horse, I think that would be in their best interest rather than just letting them do nothing in a pasture. But with horses like Indy or I'm trying to think of who's old right now. I think my oldest mare is like 17 at the moment. But like, let's say if Indy was 20, and this was like her last baby, and then she was done. Yeah, absolutely. I would just let her hang out in my pasture and live out her much deserved retirement. So I just think it depends on the horse, their age, their body condition, if they can be ridden, if they can't. If I have a horse that can't be ridden, can't be bred, and so they have limited places to go, I'm probably not going to sell them because I don't want them ending up in a bad place, But if they have options and they can still go be super productive for years and years and someone can love them and ride them, absolutely. I would look into selling them.
Susan wants to know, because she said before all of the employees here are amazing. Mm-hmm. It would be cool to know how you found us and how we met, mainly the 3 of us.
I would say how this group met. We can talk about Rachel and Melissa and the others that work here as well. But this trio, we've talked about how we've met before, but I know that there's plenty of people that have found the YouTube channel later. So Matt and I met hunting, totally offset from what we're doing now. So we met hunting. We were at an outfitter in Illinois. And we spent 2 or 3 days just sitting in a deer stand together, just kind of not killing anything. So we had plenty of time to chat. And poor thing, he didn't have a chair the whole time. And I heard his knees just like all the time because they were just crack-lacking.
40-year-old knees.
Yeah. And then it's one of those things where it's like the trip made it out of the group chat. We were like, oh, we should totally do something, which normally does not happen. But then I can't remember if it was like December or January after that. So like a month or 2 later, we actually recircled and we were like, let's do it. Let's figure it out. And then the reason I know we've talked about this is because Matt was convinced that Nate wasn't there for our first day filming.
Yeah.
But he was.
I was.
If we were to like write an account of like the last 2 years,
Yeah.
I'd love to read You and I's. 'Cause
Yeah.
it'd be two different stories completely.
And so we shot a like, hey, what's this channel gonna be? I remember Bella was a baby and she was on a leash.
I know.
Yeah.
I
For
can
this
still
video.
remember the first video.
And we
held
just went
her.
around the farm kind of being like, it's gonna be about cattle, it's gonna be about horses, we have foals coming, you know, just kind of everything on the farm and just kind of giving a little overview. And so even though, you know, you came on technically after the fact, Nate's been here since the beginning. And then that was right when I got Poppy and Petunia. So y'all took their first photos and we were really centered around them for a little bit. And it started off just kind of not as, the vision for it was different.
Yeah, no. It's,
Back then.
It's
And then Abigail, it was months and months later because y'all started in January. We did our first film day in January. And then we didn't meet until September.
yeah, it was the cattle sale. I think it was your first day.
Or like first week was cattle sale. And then that's when you met Nate.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all spent the day together. And back then you were like, what do I do? I think I had you doing live videos
Yes.
like the entire day
We're doing
with an
Instagram
iPad.
lives with
Yeah.
the
With
an
iPad.
It's crazy.
Because I was trying to figure out how to utilize a second set of hands. Like I was trying, like I didn't know. At that point, I had been doing everything from just my point of view.
Yeah.
And it was the cattle sale where I bought. Did I even buy anybody at that one?
You bought Bonnie or Bluebell.
You're right. I did. And so you started because, and this is just how we've always done it, because I prefer if someone's going to like work here that they didn't know me prior or like follow me prior. And so I had someone else put the ad out, and then you thought you were going to be an assistant first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what did she even say it was?
Her company.
Yeah. And which is like a media management company. And then you did say you had a little, I think we've already gone into how you did say you had some different experience than you did.
I said I had experience with animals, which was true.
Did you lie on your resume?
I may have exaggerated the depth of how much
You're
experience
like,
I
yeah,
had.
I'm
And I
I was an animal science major up until blah, blah, blah.
I didn't put a time limit on that. I may have been vague. I don't think I lied.
And so that just kind of evolved, because at that point, like I said, I was just trying to figure out how to utilize having a second set of hands. And then at first we were like, oh, we just need part-time. And so you had another job. Have we said where your other job was?
I think
Before?
so. I worked at like a soccer complex.
And then I didn't want to compete with that schedule anymore, and we needed to go to Congress.
Yeah.
And so we needed to do a trip. And then you were like,
I couldn't
yeah.
take off, so I just quit. I really wanted to go to Congress.
So that's how that happened. And then, so now at the barn, the main barn people are Gerardo, Rachel, Alyssa, and Eliza. As of a couple years ago, we only had 2 people. Joel moved on to another job. Gerardo's been with us for, I think, close to 10 years now. So to be honest, I was not a part of that hiring process. So I don't honestly know how that went. I was in college when he was hired.
Yeah.
He's just been there forever at this point. And then because Joel was moving to a new job, we were looking for somebody else. And honestly, we had so many babies coming and so much going on that I was like, and this was last year, I was like, I think we need 2 people. I think we need to expand. And so Alyssa, we knew someone as like a family friend, and they were like, hey, I have a friend coming from Texas. Can, give her a shot? And she's been awesome. And then Rachel, it kind of the same thing as you. I've never given the reins to anyone as like a barn manager. And I was like, we'll just have to be slow with this. Like, I don't, at first her job title is a lot different than it is now. It's just grown. And I've like, taught her how we like things with the breeding side of things. Like today we were busy all day and she hauled mares for me for ICSI. Like, it's just expanded to the point where she's taken on so much more, and she truly is like a barn manager.
Yeah.
And poor thing, it was so awkward for her because the day she came to interview was the morning Cool died.
Oh no.
She showed up at like 9:00 in the morning. after we'd been in the barn all day. Like my face was swollen. I'd been sobbing.
Oh no.
And like she shows up, she's like, I can't come back. And I'm like, no, it's fine. And I was just like quiet and like staring into the abyss, like And I was like, honestly, you sound great. Let's just go with it.
You're hired.
And then she can ride and stuff. And so she rides the horses and lunges them. And, so, and Eliza just started. We met through Alyssa. So Eliza just started and she's great as well. So we just kind of keep adding new people, but we get close with everyone that works here.
Sounds like one of those new Disney shows or something, like Eliza and Alyssa. Doesn't it though?
Weren't we calling them for a minute when it was Rachel and Alyssa? We were calling them like Rachissa.
Rachissa.
I don't think that was me.
That sounds
that
like
never
a
took
slur.
off.
I don't think I was a part of that.
I never said that, but
That
I
doesn't
probably would
sound
a
like
couple
something
times.
I would say.
Confidently, anyway.
I think it.
I think
didn't
that was
take off.
in your mind. I think
There
that
is
was
at
that was
least-
an idea that got repressed.
There was at least 2 times that it got used.
It was one of
Okay.
those things.
By
It's like
who?
like you're in the shower and you like, I don't know if anybody else does this, but you pre-think conversations and you're like,
Yes.
dude, and like everybody laughs, obviously. And so
then
like,
you do it.
but then it's like you've already had the conversation. So like you go like, yeah, remember when we talked about it? Yeah, everybody was there, dude. We were all in my shower.
You do that
You-
for sure.
1,000% do that.
Oh, I just admitted
Because then we get a. We've literally already talked about this.
We're like, no, we've never heard this before.
Okay, so we're like laughing because we just had to cut something out. And I just want to point out, every time we have to cut something out, there's one person that said the thing that has to be cut out. It's always Matt.
Or it's you.
I feel like it's either me
It's
or
mostly-
Matt. It's usually
or you cussing, one or the other.
It's
Yeah.
me cussing or
or it's
Matt saying something that I'm like, we can't say that.
Matt, Katie,
I want to start my podcast where the good stuff is told, and then y'all can come. Only the brave can listen to that one.
only the
Brave.
Oh my gosh, Jonathan, my husband, was like, I want to have a podcast. And I'm like,
I say
I'm
you,
going to be out of the job. Like,
you might for sure, like just because you're married to him. But I used to think, oh, you can't say it on the podcast. You can't say it. But like the podcasts that are pumping, dude, just people just go on.
I've
no,
watched some
my husband
crazy
says some
podcasts.
off the wall stuff. I could not let him be unleashed.
Sometimes
to
I watch
anyone.
those things and think like how do you get do you just not make money and you're just okay with it? Like, do you make money with other things and you just go out, you have the podcast just to say whatever you want to say, or do you just like people don't care?
moving on. This is from Andy.
Indeed.
I've seen you offer subscriptions on your other platforms. What is different for subscribers? I thought that might be a good thing for you to just talk about.
So we have subscribers on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. We do not yet have them on YouTube just because I don't have the bandwidth to add another platform to post it on right now, because all of those places get the exact same content. So subscriptions, it's $4.99. It's a monthly subscription. It is completely optional. You're not necessarily missing any content or any news by not subscribing. I want to put that out there because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm I think people immediately think when I say that if they're not paying for it, then they're getting less content. They're not. Here's what it is. You get first knowledge. So if we have news, it might be months ahead of time, but I'll tell subscribers about it, and I'll be like, this is going to happen. And then everyone else just kind of finds out in real time. If a foal is born, so it's usually at night. If it starts at 10 o'clock, then I'm posting as close to real time as I can throughout the night. And it's usually 15 unedited videos of all the stuff. And then the next day, it's usually the afternoon when I post everybody else. And then those videos get posted, after that. And then they always get a standing 25% discount in my store. So if you shop in my store a lot, it kind of would make sense. I will say we are doing, and it's because I'm trying to figure this out as I go of what I can do for those that are doing the subscription without necessarily causing a rift with just normal viewers.
Right.
But we just started doing some new types of merch where we are like ordering it ahead of time. It's not made to order like we've been doing. So like the gibbets. They're not gibbets,
the
actually. Kivets. We're not calling them kivets, but we can't call them gibbets because that's copyright infringement. So they're charms. They're croc charms. So we're coming out with those, a coloring book, a paint by number, a diamond dart. We do have plushies in the works, things like that. And so because it's like limited quantities, we were giving subscribers like a day to purchase ahead of time. Yeah. Just, first come, first serve, and then we'll pre-order. Then we'll put it in. If it sells out, there's a pre-order, you'll get it in 2 weeks, that kind of thing. Yeah, so you're not like missing out. It's just like a little bit later. And then I will say, in the times where we're not having a lot of births or whatever, we do try to do some things for subscribers. Like we just did a thing where we gave a code to everyone for a day to go get digital downloads, which is a $15 value for free. So they all got a digital download, where they sometimes will make little screensavers and we'll do a link to get that downloads, things like that. So it's not anything crazy that like I'm not saying this to like don't subscribe.
Don't even do it.
I'm just saying I like there to be a happy medium. And I will tell you, subscriptions and the income that has come from it is the reason that we're able to do some of the things we do. That is why I'm able, I'm so grateful. I'm able to just inject my horses whenever they're uncomfortable. I'm able to add chiro to all of them, able to do masseuse, like have a masseuse come out for all of them. And like, it's just really broadened my care availability and, we're really trying to be smart and reinvest into the business and into the animals. And that's just been another way that's been really cool. So yeah, that's what subscriptions are.
And I'm pretty sure also, don't you do like a drawing at the end of the year for all the subscribers and like one person gets to name a horse?
No. Nate.
And then they like all get together and battle to see who was the best subscriber.
No.
There will only be one subscriber left standing.
Yes, this is annually. This is a yearly subscription. Let's not get this twisted. Like you're signing on for 12 months.
It's Survivor, but it's subscriber.
Yes. Dude, now hold
on.
Hold on. It's just funny because she was like, when you subscribe, you get power or like knowledge. Like all I could think about was like, if it was like a soul leveling moment, like, oh, I could subscribe. It's just like, anyway.
Oh, I forgot. Facebook, it has like a little bit of a perk because like I said, they all get the same content, but like in the same time, I post to all three at the same time. It takes hours when like a foal is born. But Facebook has like a subscriber group. And then you can all like post to each other and there's like group chats and everyone shares their own animals and stuff like that. But anyway.
Just to be clear, you don't get to name a horse if you're a subscriber.
No, he did that to be evil.
But you might get to know the name first.
You do.
Okay.
You do get to know the name first.
I knew it was something
pretty
with
much
the names.
any special something you get to know first.
Okay, cool.
And sometimes it's by hours, sometimes it's by days, sometimes by months.
Go subscribe out there,
Does Macy still subscribe?
I made her stop.
Okay.
She did. So like
it was becoming an issue.
I looked on there one day.
She was becoming a little too obsessed.
I looked on there one day and I was like, Macy, why do you subscribe to me?
Yeah.
Just text me and I'll send you whatever it is that
She's
I
like,
posted.
well, I didn't want to bother y'all, but I also wanted to know like what you were doing and what was going on. I'm like, you can just call me.
I'm like, you can just text me and I'll tell you what the new animal is. Like,
yeah.
Like Chandler subscribes. Who has the mini horses.
Really?
Chandler subscribes. Like the other day, he texted me and he's like, I saw that you posted about KUWK in the subscriber hub. Can I post about it now? And I'm like, why are you subscribing?
Just
you could
text.
I was thinking we could do like, would you rather? And then like we ask the same question.
Yeah.
And like, say I'm asking them to Nate and you try to guess what Nate would answer to see how well you know each other.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fire that up in the comments for some good ones because we suck at coming up with stuff. So
yeah,
put
we
that in
do. We're not
comments.
really creative people.
Yeah.
Also,
and
another
then
question.
we also give ideas for what the winner gets to do and maybe like a punishment for the loser.
Yeah. Katie always, it's some kind of physical abuse towards me. which I don't know why, but that's been like the
Like
going trend.
toward you, just generally.
Yeah, it
Well, what we
is
could
you.
do is like give Abigail, we could like punch Matt in the face.
Abigail, what are the odds you'll slap Matt?
Yeah, what are the odds that
right
she'll go and stab him in the throat? I do have one question, and this is for everybody, including the people who are watching this video.
Including people.
Is this dumb? Does this look dumb?
No, it looks like my baby.
No, I don't think so.
No, I
Because
think
like
it looks
I
good.
tried something today.
I think it's a
I really
vibe.
did. I didn't tell nobody. I just did it.
I think it looks good.
And
I
then
think
I'm-
I
that
like the middle part.
Yeah,
I spent the entirety of this podcast looking at myself.
it looks
in the
like Boy
reflection
Meets
saying,
World.
I just don't know.
I've been
It
trying
looks
the
like the
middle
Boy
part.
Meets World, like Ryder Strong's
It is. It's giving like 90s teenage.
heartthrob.
Yes. Yep.
Ryder from like what is it? Rapunzel? What's that?
Flynn
movie?
Rider.
Yeah,
Yeah. Tangled.
Tangled.
I think you should match that vibe with the cropped tee vibe.
Mm-hmm. Now Nate's trying to do it. Matt was getting too much praise.
No, I've been trying a little. I've been trying some stuff at home,
At home,
not for the public though.
you gotta save only the best for the public.
I mean, I got to be having a good day.
Your hair length is right at the cusp of ponytailable,
I think, yeah.
but it's like
I could put it in a bun. I think a small one.
It just looks dumb.
Could
if
you
I
do
it
a
right now.
half bun on top?
Probably.
We know you can. You've done it.
Yeah, but not good. His would probably look good. But at the time we did it, mine still wasn't as long as it is now. It probably look better now.
you had really long hair when we met,
know,
and
I'm
it was
getting back.
permed.
I'm back to it. I'm coming back. It's almost there. Getting there.
Are you gonna perm it?
Nope.
Why?
I don't
It
know.
looks good curly.
Maddie also thought so. We'll see.
I think it
I'm very swayable, so
because honestly, like it gave you volume and it gave you like a
Which
little
I need.
texture.
I need that.
It gave you a little texture,
I have
and I
thin
think
hair.
it looked like when you had a hat on and it was like a little curl. It looked good.
See, that's gonna last me for a month.
Matt, he just needs one compliment a month.
I just think that's just guys in general. Like if you just say like, this haircut and
That looks very
wore
Aaron.
it again.
Eden Yiga.
Wait, did Katie say that?
Yeah, she did.
Nah, that
You don't
means
know
much.
season 4, Aaron.
I've just heard about it enough.
I got a little bun here.
Is it
How did you
Aaron?
do that? Like, because you have such thick hair, I could never do that at first try.
From AOC. Is AOT. AOT.
AOC.
Thank you guys
The,
for watching.
AOT.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so we are going to be going to Kentucky this week. Me and Abigail are going to go a little day early. We're going to go ride Denver. We're going to go tour Keeneland and just be at the Kentucky Horse Park for a few days. It's going to hopefully be fun and not so rainy. I really hope we get to actually ride and be outside and whatnot. It literally will not quit raining in the Southeast. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Again, let us know if we do this game, like a would you rather type situation. We need to know the punishment for the people that lose, what people win, and then also some ideas for the would you rather and just topics that you would like to hear about. So see you in the next one.
Bye.